Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So it's been just over a month. It was on July 13th of 2024 when a lone gunman attempted to take the life of former President Donald Trump while he was speaking at an outdoor rally. And a lot has happened since then. The news has been ongoing and persistent. Reminded of a Lenin quote about there are decades where nothing happens and weeks where decades happen. And we've had a lot of those weeks in between here and there. Some people will say that the media hasn't focused enough on that story, that they're attempting to suppress it or push it to the wayside. And I don't think that's true. It was a big thing that did happen. Once in a lifetime sort of event for most of us, or at least I hope for most of us that'll never happen in our lifetimes again. But there's no real new news about it. We don't have a motive for why the shooter did what he did. The lady who was in charge of the Secret Service did step down, but I think I covered that in my first video about this. I made that about a week after that rally happened. But since then, there hasn't been any update, so I don't see why it would be in the news. But I did see something today, an update about Trump personally, that made me want to make this video with you and tell you about it. He said that in future outdoor rallies that he's planning, he'll be behind bulletproof glass. And personally, I think that's a good idea. Just for every major politician that's on a campaign trail, that they should have some sort of deterrent like that on stage with them. It's not like they're going to be behind something opaque. You'll still be able to see them. Cameras will still be fine, but anything like that is good. And it's not like you have to break it every time you use it. You can carry that stuff with you from place to place. It's not like it'll be too expensive for taxpayers to pay for something like that. Because, of course, it'll come out of our pockets, but I still think that's a good idea for all of our politicians to be safe. We live in crazy times. We live in a crazy country. More guns than people. So those sort of deterrents are a good idea. But there's something about Donald Trump using the bulletproof glass just in his behaviors. I saw something, I don't know if this is true or not. It's hard to tell with sources the way they are, but someone inside Team Trump said that he was watching over that footage a lot, of the shooting when it happened. That he has frequently reviewed the footage day after day since then, and I can't say I blame him. Someone said that he has PTSD, but I mean, I say he has PTS for sure. It's hard to say a disorder within a month. Any professional will tell you that's way too early to judge, but absolutely you have some post traumatic stress from an event like that. But to say he has a disorder, it's like when you hear people who talk about obsessively cleaning up their house before a parent shows up, or like a landlord is coming by to review the property. Like people will say, oh, I was real OCD about it, but it's just you were obsessive, but you didn't have a disorder. So can't say he has PTSD, but definitely some PTS. What really has done that, aside from just being shot, that would happen with anybody, he is experiencing some real world Ebenezer Scrooge stuff right now. I don't know if you're familiar with A Christmas Carol. I know it's a bit out of season for that. But Act 3 of that has Ebenezer Scrooge see his future after he has passed on, and that nobody remembers him and has forgotten about him, like he has no family to catch up with. Anyway, Trump has seen the internet. He has seen the reaction to what happened with his shooting. Like I said at the start, some people say that the media isn't covering the story, but there's no news story to cover right now. However, the memes about this, the way people have handled themselves online about this, he has probably seen this and realized that not only would people make fun of it, but that people don't care. And I don't necessarily believe that. Like, if he would have actually died on stage, we would still be talking about that day. You would have documentaries would be coming out about it. But because he was only shot and such a minor injury occurred, I think that's why it hasn't been such a focal point in people's lives. It is a very historic event, to say the least, that someone attempted to take the life of a president. But, as I've said, there's no new news, so it's not going to be in the news. And anybody who's saying that's some sort of media cover up is just, I think they're just upset that they aren't getting free press out of it. Because as much as Donald said the day he had his first, I want to say it was at the RNC after the shooting, said he only would talk about it the once. He has mentioned it so often, and people in his team, his social media posts always talk about they want you to forget that this happened. But if it was so painful for you, I don't think you would be using it that way for, like, good boy points, basically. I don't know how you want to look at it. But, just to sort of pull this all together, I think the bulletproof glass is a good idea. I think it should have been there since, I don't know, since we had bulletproof glass. We should have had our politicians behind it. But we'll see what happens with his rallies. I know he's been having the indoor ones, and maybe that has to do with his fear of the numbers comparison. Maybe that just has to generally do with being fearful of what people might do when he's on stage. I can't say I blame him. It is a hard thing to deal with, but I guess until he has some more rallies, I guess until we get some more news out of this, y'all try to have a good day.